Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the BTS Billboard interview because my goodness, what the hell was that? In case you didn't get the chance to read the interview, I screenshotted the juiciest parts so you can pause to read them fully. Now, I want to be completely honest with you guys. The part about them saying that BTS getting a number one was really because of Armies and chart manipulation, there is a lot of truth to that. I'm not gonna lie. My next video is about streaming culture in K-pop and how it's unethical. Fun fact, I was actually supposed to post this video this week, but it was really draining on me, so I decided to take a break from it and then post it next week. Man, do I have really bad timing. But no, like, it is really true. My friends and I, when we both found out Butter and Permission to Dance went to number one, we were genuinely really shocked because we just felt like these songs were not well done. It was very generic, it felt very half-assed, and the autotune just made it unlistenable. And a lot of people will agree on this. And yes, it is true that BTS getting a number one for Butter and Permission to Dance is really because of fan loyalty, not song quality. Armies love BTS so much, so they'll stream a song like crazy, even if they don't like it, just for BTS to get a number one. It is a huge problem. And if you don't agree with me, then subscribe to my channel and watch my video on streaming culture in K-pop so you can understand my full-fledged opinion on it. My main issue with this is, however, is that why would you say it to their face? Do you know how disrespectful that is? When you're having a Billboard story, which is, by the way, a huge achievement. Do you know how big the Billboard is for a lot of artists? BTS has mentioned so many times how them getting a Billboard number one is a huge deal to them. So, for them, when they found out that Billboard was going to interview them, they probably thought that this was a huge opportunity and they were going to be super excited. And you're literally telling them, hey, your success is really because you have diehard fans. How are they going to feel? You're basically undermining their success, achievements, and everything right to their face. I'm glad RM handled this situation so professionally and maturely because, yes, he basically told them it's not our fault, it's a Billboard, right? But it was just honestly so disrespectful that they said that to them to their face. And honestly, the reason why this story was so problematic was a significant portion of it was literally about BTS's fans and how they're so unethical because they're mass buying. You are interviewing BTS, one of the biggest artists of all time. There's so many angles you can go towards. You could talk about them being underdogs and coming from a small company, them being cultural ambassadors for South Korea, and how does it make them feel? Are they stressed by it? Does it relieve them? What's it like being huge artists in the pandemic? Why are they so huge? And talk about like particularly how their success is really because of their songwriting. Ask them about their songwriting. We're like, what the hell? You could even ask Taehyung about Yetna. Why are you making a significant portion of it at how they're not really successful because they just have a lot of fandom loyalty? And I just thought it was just so weird that they mentioned about the military and how hype is basically nothing without BTS. Like, it was just so poorly done. It was completely unprofessional and disrespectful. Like the thing is, we can talk about streaming culture and fan loyalty and chart manipulation. That is a huge problem that I believe that the music industry is facing, whether Western or K-pop, but make it a separate story. When you're interviewing one of the biggest bands of all time, focus on them. Focus on their achievements. Do not make it seem like they're only huge because they have just random teenage girls who are like going to support them no matter what. Like, this was just so poorly done. The whole interview was just so poorly done. I am appalled by this journalism. So the other issue that Armies took was that they felt this article was xenophobic. And when I first heard this accusation, I had to really sit down and read this article and think to myself, why is this xenophobic? Because I'll be really honest with you guys, I feel like a lot of K-pop fans misuse the word xenophobic. So I read through this interview, and as I mentioned before, literally 60% of it was literally about BTS and their fans manipulating the charts. And then it was about them going to the military, which is weird because I don't understand why every Western interviewer brings that up. And then 10% was about how HYBE is nothing without Big Hit, and then another 10% is actually about BTS, about them in the pandemic, etc. Right? So when I was asking to myself whether this is xenophobia or not, I asked myself this question: would Billboard do the same to a Western artist? What I often find with Western artists or Western media, they always paint K-pop to be extremely manufactured, but fail to acknowledge that the Western music industry can be as manufactured as K-pop. Think about Jennifer Lopez, who's known to be one of the biggest industry plants. If y'all don't know this, Jennifer Lopez doesn't even sing on her own songs. Her label gets other demo artists or even other artists like Ashanti. They take their vocals, they put them in Jennifer Lopez's song, and she just lip syncs to them. That's why you never hear her sing live, right? Yet, whenever I see a magazine interview, especially something as prestigious as Billboard, they never go up to her and be like, so you know you're an industry plant, right? No. You know what, how they treat her? They'll actually do research about her, ask her about her artistry, ask her about her music career, etc. And this is why I found that this reeks of microaggressions. I often find that with a lot of Western interviewers of Western media, they think it's so strange that K-pop is so popular. So they're trying to find these random factors to invalidate their success. So in this case, they were trying to bring up BTS's fan manipulation as a way to invalidate success. Although I do agree that, Armies streaming the song because they don't really like it, but they want BTS to do well, is an issue. That's not necessarily why BTS is so popular. There's so much more to their fame than just them having intense fan bases. Another microaggression I often find with Western interviews is that they try to paint K-pop as dark as they can to make it seem very unusual and very strange. So for example, back in 2019, when The Hollywood Reporter was interviewing BTS and writing a story about them, they mentioned about SHINee's Jungkook's passing. This story was supposed to be for BTS as a way to prepare them for like the Grammys and all, yet they brought this unrelated dark element just to make K-pop and BTS to be very strange, which was very hypocritical because mental health and artists passing away due to mental illnesses such as depression is very present in the Western music industry. Another example is about plastic surgery. In every single dark K-pop story, they mention about how K-pop artists are forced to get plastic surgery, even though a lot of Western celebrities have gotten plastic surgery. Don't believe me? Then ask Kylie Jenner. So yes, I find that these interviews are so xenophobic in the sense that they try to paint K-pop to be extremely manufactured, extremely dark, even though the Western music industry shared the same exact elements. As well, there's such a huge difference between how Western media reports Western artists versus non-Western artists. With non-Western artists, they'll bring up ways to discredit their success. While with manufactured Western artists, they'll always acknowledge their hard work, success, and achievements, and they'll always do research about their story. That being said, it is true BTS getting a #1 for Butter and Permission to Dance wasn't because the song was good, but because they do have a dedicated fan base who will do anything for them to succeed. That's a topic for my next video, which is why you should subscribe. Billboard can talk about streaming culture and how it doesn't always indicate song quality, but make it a separate story. Bringing that up to BTS's faces and making it a focal point of the story is extremely disrespectful and unprofessional. You're downplaying BTS's entire hard work from 2013. How interesting is it that whenever Billboard interviews industry plants such as Jennifer Lopez, they'll never tell her to her face that she's an industry plant. In all their articles, they never mention that her career is built off of other women's vocals. You know why? Because Western media will always respect Western artists, but they will do anything to downplay the hard work of non-Western artists. Because there is no way a non-Western artist can succeed, right? The microaggressions just reek. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I know I rambled a lot. Definitely comment down your thoughts below as we learn best from hearing different points of view. And if you want to grow the holler, definitely like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.